Okay, I've just got to ask the question, are we the jerks as cruisers? Amidst nearly 100 people losing their lives and thousands of people losing everything in Hawaii, guests booked on a Royal Caribbean cruise set to call in Hawaii are freaking out on the cruise line because of their port stop options for that cruise. Does that make them jerks? Let's roll the intro. Hey, welcome to the Midships channel. I'm your Captain Corey. Thank you so much for stopping by the channel today. Wow, I have been so closely following everything that is going on over in Hawaii with the wildfires. The death toll continues to rise. It's just absolutely terrifying and disheartening what's going on over there. And amidst that backdrop, guests booked on Royal Caribbean's Ovation of the Seas, a ship which I will be sailing on in 50 days. Well, guests booked on Ovation are ticked off because they can't go to Hawaii. And that raises the question, are we the jerks as cruisers in this situation? Like, are we the bad guys here? Like that meme that you see going on. I say this because, well, we would all be disappointed if we paid for a Hawaiian cruise and the cruise line was forced, due to unforeseen circumstances amidst massive tragedy, to send us to places like Victoria, BC and Seattle instead of Hawaii. And that's a very different itinerary than Hawaii. So let's set the table here. There's a ship. She's named Ovation of the Seas. She's a big ship, a really big ship. In fact, she's one of the 20 largest cruise ships currently sailing on the planet today. And that makes it difficult for Ovation of the Seas to get into all the port of calls that are available throughout the islands of Hawaii. And unfortunately, one of those port stops slated for Ovation of the Seas is directly adjacent to these active wildfires, causing Royal Caribbean to begin altering their plans, as obviously taking cruise ships to this port, it's a non-starter at this time. So the cruise line has done what they had to do, which is completely change the itinerary for this 9-night Hawaiian cruise. And now, instead of sailing over and spending a couple days on the Hawaiian Islands before disembarking in Honolulu, Ovation will instead make port calls in Victoria, British Columbia, Canada, and Seattle, Washington. Two ports that, well, frankly, they're not Hawaii, to be honest. And as soon as the cruise line informed guests booked on this cruise for Ovation, well, those guests lost their dang minds and immediately started crying foul. Hey, we booked a Hawaiian cruise, and on any of the maps that we have, Washington and Canada aren't anywhere near Hawaii. Here's the thing, though. What's going on in Hawaii, it's a massive human tragedy. And in my opinion, well, that's much larger than cruise vacations, okay? It's much more important that travelers don't put added stress on a region that is already going through the largest stress these people will likely ever see in their lives. So I, for one, completely understand and I completely support cruise ships not going to Maui. As a matter of fact, I'm of the opinion that cruise ships should maybe actually avoid Hawaii altogether for the time being, unless it's to bring aid or supplies into the region, because bringing 3,000 new people into a community that's already struggling for resources, it's not good. Now, that said, if you paid for your multi-$1,000 cruise to Hawaii and it ends up in Seattle, well, I can understand you being a little bit upset. A lot of bit upset, perhaps. The better thing to do, which to their credit, Royal Caribbean is now offering, is giving refunds for cancellations of this sailing. And like I said, they're waiving 100% of the penalties if you decide to not go on the cruise. They'll process your refund within a week. Now, also for their part, Royal Caribbean say, we've looked closely at other ports in Hawaii, but due to the size of Ovation of the Seas, there were only two other options that the ship could go to, and both of those options were unavailable for several reasons, including the port already being booked up, which is not surprising. And it's not just Royal Caribbean operating in Hawaii. Princess Cruise Line operates up there. Norwegian has ships in the area. There are cruises that are all trying to find places to put their passengers. So it's just going to be a hard time right now if you have a cruise going to Hawaii in the next several months. Well, maybe you should reach out to your cruise provider and ask if you have any cancellation options, or maybe you can push the cruise off into next year. That would probably be best for you, your experience, and it would benefit the folks in Hawaii as well. I'm very curious as to what your thoughts are on this type of situation, a massive, expensive, most likely once in a lifetime trip for most of the folks on these ships. Well, their ports get shifted to, sorry if you live in Seattle or Victoria, but not great cruise ports due to a major natural disaster. Who's in the right? Who's in the wrong? Did the cruise line handle it correctly? And are these passengers jerks? Or are they just people upset because they didn't feel like they're getting what they paid for? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Interaction is amazing for the YouTube algorithm, and I would really appreciate your support. It's free to do. And remember, the comments are a safe place. I always encourage a diversity of thoughts and opinions. And part of the diversity of thought is the diversity of people that run to the comments often to tell me I'm an idiot, which I think is hilarious. Kind of like the Ahoy pineapple shirt that I designed and sell on Amazon is also hilarious. You know you can buy it there in the Midships Amazon store, right? You knew it was coming. In there, you can find everything I take with me on every single cruise. There's like 20 or 30 amazing cruise t-shirt designs that I've personally made. No, there's not a SpaceX shirt in there. Well, at least not in my store. I'm sure you can find one. If you want to check it out, there's a link in the description down below. If you made it this far in today's episode, please make sure you get subscribed to the channel with the bell notification turned on. Be sure to leave a huge thumbs up on this video here if you like the fact that you can run to the comment section and call me anything you want and share your thoughts and opinions in a fun, safe place. Thank you so much for stopping by the channel today. And until next time, we'll see ya on the Midships.